Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video on my channel. Thank you much for tuning in. So, we are still live, and we are now watching all 16 German states stereotypes explained by, well, this has been on my plan to watch list for a couple weeks now, and now we are finally getting to it. Uh, yeah, 17 minutes, 16 states. Let's see what stereotypes I know, I recognize, and which ones I may not have heard yet. Link to the original video is always down in the description. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed it. And let's get started. Baden-Württemberg. Let's
After
start
World
off.
War II, the three regions of Baden, Württemberg, and a slice of Hohenzollern were merged, making it into Baden-Württemberg. But there is still a lot of friendly rivalry between the founding states to this day. These people are rich, and you won't understand a thing they're saying, even if you're German. Hence the saying that they can
Calling it a friendly rivalry is... it's a bit... Yeah, I guess you could theoretically call it a friendly
do
rivalry.
everything but speak proper German. They work very hard, make good money, spend none of it, and save to buy a house. So you could say that they're like the Scottish of Germany. They're basically the reason for the German high efficiency, no humor, great
You're rich, huh? Well, the people from Stuttgart, according to the stereotypes, they are the wealthy one, the Swabians. Your model is very cute. Thank you. I like it a lot as well. Thank you.
engineering high quality stereotypes. In the winter, they wake up at 5 to shovel the snow. But during the weekend, they loosen up and just wake up at 5:30. How can you tell if someone from Baden-Württemberg? Just look at their phones. If the brightness is set to 1%, bingo. And then there's Kewocha. For those who don't know, you have to clean up the hallways and the stairs where you live in turns. And if you
Oh, that's what he meant. He meant Kehrwoche. I was like, what is he talking about?
For those who
Yeah. I notice a couple of patterns here from my grandparents. Yeah.
if the brightness is set to 1%, bingo. And then there's Kewocha.
That is so bear specific. What?
For those who don't know, you have to clean up the hallways and the stairs where you live in turns. And if you don't, well, you better not. There are a lot of them in Berlin, and they're the destroyers of fun. Now, about the capital, Stuttgart, the Mercedes-Benz and Porsche headquarters are there, and it's very expensive to live in. Hey, where are you from? Ruttlingen. Where? Near Stuttgart. The city of Karlsruhe is
True. What the hell is Reutlingen? Nah, it's Stuttgart.
filled with lawyers. Mannheim has people from everywhere, and Freiburg is
The fucking nett hier, aber waren Sie schon mal in Baden-Württemberg-Sticker? Damn. That is nostalgic.
the hippie central of the state, with lots of bikers and vegan cafes.
Oh. Freiburg and their vegan cafes. Oh yeah. Bavaria!
Bavaria is like the Texas of Germany. They're the biggest state, are very traditional, conservative, and rich, with the highest separatist feelings among all German states. They often joke about how they'd be better off if they united with Austria. A Transalpine Empire would be great too. They're what most of the world thinks Germans look like, wearing lederhosen or dirndl all the time while drinking a liter of beer and eating white sausage for breakfast, and going to Oktoberfest in the afternoon even though it's June. Speaking of food, they live on Radler and use noodle in almost every food. Compared to
What?
the
They live on Radler? I think the average Bavarian drinks a bit harder stuff than just Radler, honestly. In case you don't know what Radler is, it's basically you could say it's basically beer mixed with Sprite, something like that. It's a sweet beer beverage. I think the average Bavarian would eat a bit or drink a bit more heavy beer than that.
even though it's June. Speaking of food, they live on Radler and use noodle in almost every food. Compared to the northern parts, people are more chatty.
Also, don't think they would drink Amstel Radler. If they were able to drink Amstel, they would probably be Radler. They would probably be drinking Oettinger or something. Interesting. Talking about experience. Well, I have relatives living in Bavaria, so I know a little bit here and there. And well, also the stereotypes you hear online. Yeah.
Compared to the northern parts, people are more chatty and outgoing. People from up north, though, have some different opinions about them. If you ask them about Bavaria, they'll say it's the most northern city of Italy. They think Bavarians are arrogant and full of themselves, but I think they're just proud of their culture and heritage. I mean, if you ask them where they're from, they're just going to say Bavarian, not German. Aside from this, every other state hates Bayern Munich. I mean, enough already. You're winning
Yeah.
every year. It's not even fun anymore. Go play with some other European teams. So you could already guess that there's some hate between Bavaria and other parts of Germany. But well, a little bit of healthy mutual hatred is the foundation of Germany. About their dialect? Yeah, dialect. Not another language, you Prussian fools. Where was I? It's pretty hard to understand. BMW and Audi
Yeah.
headquarters are in Bavaria, and Bavarians constantly talk and brag about them, but they drive Subaru. The capital Munich is clean, and there are a lot
Bro, because nobody can afford them. Do you know what a fucking Audi and a BMW cost these days? Not to mention, I would rather walk to work than drive a BMW. Hell no.
of parks and it feels like a big village, but it's very expensive. Also, people from Nuremberg are proud of their small sausages, and people from Augsburg are
Yeah,
hippies.
true. What? People from Augsburg?
Talk and brag about them, but they drive Subaru. The capital Munich is clean and there are a lot of parks and it feels like a big village, but it's very expensive. Also, people from Nuremberg are proud of their small sausages, and people from Augsburg are hippies.
Ah, hippies. Okay. I legit thought the first time he said are haters. I'm like, what? Okay, next up is Berlin. Oh my god. Oh no. The worst of them all.
Berlin is dirty, poor, but sexy and disorganized, with weird
Wait, there's a comment down there somewhere. Wait. Here. In Germany, we say Berlin is not a city but a condition. Bro, that is so fucking true. People from Berlin are like a separate
those homeless
species of
people, drug
Germans.
addicts,
What
and
the
dealers. It has the highest crime rate per capita in the country, and in the middle of all this, there are some hippies who think it's the best place in the world. Now, the Berliners. No one can deny that they're extremely rude and upfront, whether to each other or to foreigners. They're like rude on purpose, and they always speak their mind. Well, some say that's how they want to make new friends, by challenging you to assassinate duel. If you beat them with an even more passive-aggressive reply, you have gained their respect. Which is, I don't know, you tell me. Is this true? Now, the people who have
No
moved
idea.
there are stereotyped as being hippies who party in techno clubs, hang out in cafes with laptops, and dress all in black and leather, and tend to all
Yeah.
get depressed in the winter. In Berlin, there are people from all around the world, and all of them are obsessed with doner, or vegan doner. Berlin is like its own
Ew, vegan Döner. What the fuck? What do you even put in
vegan
it?
doner.
Okay, it's like falafel chickpea stuff. Okay, bro, nah. A real proper Döner has to be like this. And with the bread toasted. Like, we can't be having any like cold, hard bread. That is gross. That is gross. But by the way, a little story. The worst Döner I ever ate. I think that store doesn't exist anymore here, or was taken over by someone else. Because good fucking lord, it was so bad. Like, I don't smoke. I hate the smell of smoke or cigarettes. And I ordered that döner, and I swear to you guys, the entire döner just tasted like someone exhaled their cigarette into it. It was so fucking disgusting. You know how someone is just standing at like your bus station and they're exhaling their cigarettes and it's just disgusting and gross? That smell was literally ingrained into that döner. It was so gross. I was so hungry, and even then I could only eat half of it and had to throw away the rest of it because it was absolutely atrocious. It was a fucking war crime. A culinary war crime. Obviously that guy got 1 star rating because that is fucking disgusting, bro. That is gross. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if their kebabs are also had like health issues or something, because that was just vile.
Berlin is like its own microcosmos. You can find every
Was not in Berlin though. That was in the south. Are we roasting food like that? Well, I love my kebabs. I love my döner. Uh, I absolutely do. And that's why I have a bit of standards for that. Yeah, if you want to sell stuff like if you want to sell kebabs in Germany, you need to have a certain standard for that.
Sort of
People are a bit
person
picky
there.
with
It's
that.
one of those places where every person can find their tribe, if they just look for it, no matter how weird or niche they are. This estate gets a lot of hate. Every other state hates Berlin. And even people from
Yeah,
Berlin hate Berlin. It's
yeah.
overall a good place. You could find some friends, bully other people on a daily basis, quit your engineering
Is this weird uh contradiction, I guess? People hating Berlin, even the ones living in it, but they're not moving away. Yeah, I'm glad I don't live there. I'm just not a fan of big cities in general. Like years ago on a class trip we went to Amsterdam, and it was decent, but I mean it's the capital. It's the capital. Uh and well, there's still a lot of people there. For visiting, okay, but living there, nah. Have you seen my chat? I have seen it, but I'm trying to focus on the video right now. Maybe later.
major and go to a music or art school and live a life funded by others because work isn't your
Going to art school in Berlin as a
thing.
German.
Then you could go out with your girlfriend who has ripped tights, an asymmetrical skirt, multicolored hair, but in a goth way, crazy eyeliner, piercings, and an aggressive victim mentality, and enjoy the
But you need to put the piercing in the middle. It has to go through there like the fucking bull ring.
city. If you're liking the video so far, please subscribe.
But the life over there is just worse. I've never lived in Berlin, and I've actually also never been in the city itself. So I only know from what I've been told from people who visited there or lived there or still live there, or the actual stereotypes. But yeah, from those people who I've heard, a bunch of the stuff is actually true. Some is maybe exaggerated or just specific to certain districts, because obviously not every single part of Berlin is identical. Some are worse, I guess, and some are better. Uh, but yeah, I guess Germany kind of universally agrees that Berlin is, uh, uh, along with Frankfurt, uh, a city you would probably not want to live there on your own or out of your own free will.
It's like a void surrounding Berlin. It's very empty, sandy, and did I mention empty? No one's living in Brandenburg. And there's even a song about this.
True.
All you can see is forests, lakes, and more forests. Also wolves. They roam
Brandenburg is such a big. Can we see the map again? There we go. Where is it here? That's Berlin, this small thing, and everything around it is Brandenburg, its own district. But like, I don't know how many more people live in Berlin than in Brandenburg. It's crazy. Like, it's a really big part, but not really many people live there. Oh, there it is on the. Okay.
It's like a void surrounding Berlin. It's very empty, sandy, and did I mention empty? No one's living in Brandenburg. And there's even a song about this. All you can see is forests, lakes, and more forests. Also wolves. They roam around abandoned
doesn't
villages
sound
and
that
eat the
bad,
last
honestly.
pensioners who have not immigrated to Baden-Württemberg. Most inhabitants live in surroundings of Berlin. The people are nice, and the cities get even more empty because everyone's commuting to Berlin for work. There isn't much to do except to go and see the beautiful lakes or visit the Spreewald. And
That doesn't sound bad at all. Living out more on the countryside, honestly, for me, that would sound kind of like a dream. As long as the Wi-Fi is good, of course. But I would much rather prefer that over
also they have the city of
living in a big
Frankfurt.
city.
Oder.
The other Frankfurt, yeah. Bremen.
Bremen is the smallest state. So small they even call it the big village. I mean, the whole state has only 2 cities. And it's like a big village, alright, but with the benefits of a metropolis. And they're mostly poor and leftists. The city, though, is absolutely beautiful. It has a
Okay,
great
there.
public transit and you can go anywhere by bike. They're also an hour away by train from Hamburg and have a great football rivalry with them. I haven't heard any more specific stereotypes about this place, but the things that you could do there are to enjoy the city parks and nature, say hi to Roland, see the famous musicians and pet the donkey, and enjoy
Die
some
Bremer
nip and
Stadtmusikanten.
lapskaus. And you have to note that once they were a shipping and manufacturing powerhouse. Now they have the highest level of alcoholism and unemployment of any estate in Germany.
Yay.
People
Alcohol
from
addiction.
Hamburg are stereotyped as being rude, arrogant, and very direct and cold, just like their weather. And their extreme directness may sometimes feel like bullying to foreigners. And they're very reserved and almost Nordic in their attitude, meaning that you won't get a warm hug from them. And they always keep it to themselves. You could find liberal, rich bourgeois everywhere. And because of their port, wealth, and fancy apartments, they think they're above everybody else. About the food, they're obsessed with their fish and love Fischbrötchen. They all think they're better than Berlin because they have a port, more money, and better bars. St. Pauli neighborhood in Hamburg is where all the cool lefty hamburgers hang out, pretending they're not
The
rich.
lefty
It feels like a
hamburgers.
big nightclub, especially in Reeperbahn, where they party and drink till the dawn. And
Oh, boy.
Schanzenviertel is Hamburg's hippie central, filled with vegan cafes and anarchist graffiti. Some additional stereotypes about them are that they're penny pinchers and English wannabes who always throw in some English words.
Hessen.
Hessen is famous for its apple wine. This estate only exists because they couldn't write "Here there be dragons" on a map in 20th century. They think green sauce is gourmet and put it on everything, and apparently they like stealing ashtrays, so be careful of
Ew.
your ashtrays. The capital city, Frankfurt, is Germany's only skyline city, also known as Manhattan. The rest of the state would also be where Lower Saxony is. Frankfurt is a crime-ridden city, and if
I was about to say, let's talk about what Frankfurt is also known for.
you want
There
to
we
get
go.
robbed, stabbed, or even worse, go to the central station area. But to tell the truth, people who arrive in Frankfurt for the first time get this
All I remember of all this is alcohol. Well, apparently, well, it is part of the German culture. That's true. But here, going back to Frankfurt, yes, it is also known for its skyline and this and that, but also for like drugs, crime, getting stabbed and shit. Like the train station in Frankfurt is a different kind of breed.
first, and in most cases, only impression of the city. Most people never see anything more than the central station and think the whole city looks like that. And everything outside Frankfurt is villages and sleepy towns. And the city
We do, to be fair, we do also have the airport in Frankfurt. I think he's not gonna mention that. That is also a big part. I think if I remember correctly, that's the biggest airport in Germany. That is something that needs to be mentioned. Pretty big. I mean, compared to other ones, it's not that big, but it's the biggest in the country. And one of the bigger ones in Europe.
has a lot of yuppies, and all you see is banks and airports. And Wiesbaden
Yep.
is a great city with hot springs.
Lower Saxony,
They're the
Niedersachsen.
better Saxony. Lower Saxony is flat, has great industry.
Are we sure there's even a country?
Industrial agriculture, some industrial cities, and tourist towns, but none of them really stand out. It has lots of farmers, farms, and farm animals. The whole state feels like a huge, wealthy farm with access to the sea. People there are known to have no emotions, even by German standards. They barely talk and rarely display feelings of any sort. And if they do, it's with some short grunts or by saying moin, which can literally mean anything. Lots of people speak Low German in Lower Saxony, so they're hard to understand. They also have the great Schützenfest tradition, where people dress up, drink beer, and shoot at wooden birds. About the food, they put a lot of
Hey.
potatoes and meat in their meals, love eating fish, and
Thanks
drink
for the
black
sub.
tea. They wear yellow raincoats because it's always raining and windy, and the weather is overall pretty depressing. As for the capital city, Hanover, it's
Aw.
pretty average and is the biggest boring city in Germany. There's even a saying that goes,
The biggest boring city.
Woo!
Hey, Miss
Yeah,
Luna 70, thank you
baby!
for the
That's what I've been
follow.
waiting for. That's what it's all about.
Hello there, hi.
Woo!
The biggest boring city. Honestly, I would much
Miss Luna 70 just followed.
much rather
pretty
live in a
depressing. As for the capital city, Hanover, it's pretty average and is the biggest boring city in Germany.
I would much rather live in the biggest boring city of the country than one known for drugs or anything like that. How are you? I'm doing great. Weekends are always
There's
the
even a
best.
saying that goes, anyone from Hanover thinks everywhere else is beautiful. The city of Wolfsburg is bland, Göttingen is filled with the students, and
The city of
Braunschweig
Wolfsburg. Well, Wolfsburg, they have Volkswagen. That's what makes and breaks the city,
is where
basically.
all the Volkswagen engineers live, and they do not like
Yeah.
people from Hanover.
Mecklenburg-Vorpommern is
There
next.
aren't many stereotypes about people from Mecklenburg-Vorpommern because no one lives there. Seriously, every few hundred kilometers you'll see a town with 400 inhabitants, and on a lot of occasions you won't get any internet on your phone. But it's absolutely beautiful,
Nightmare,
especially the
bro.
beaches and the Baltic Sea. And during the summer you could spot more Saxons than locals. This place is packed with old people and is considered old-fashioned, far-right and resistant to trying out new things, making it one of the poorest regions of Germany. Okay, I don't want to get banned, but this place is a stereotype to be filled with people who did some crazy things during the 1940s. And people from Rostock are Fischkaba, also very cold and quiet.
That's it. That was not that long. To be honest, I've also never been in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern. I've been here, Schleswig-Holstein, multiple times because if we did vacations in Denmark, you have to, you have to go through Schleswig-Holstein to get there. Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, though, I've never been there myself. I think we've got like half down.
They're a
North
bunch of unemployed
Rhine-Westphalia.
coal
North
miners who love their
Rhine-Westphalia. Okay.
carnivals and are drunk half the year because they're always having yet another carnival event. North Rhine-Westphalia
It's just
is
excuses
fairly
for
crowded.
drinking
If
beer,
you
bro.
ask someone from there where they're from, they will name even the smallest town, like you should totally know it. When people make fun of them, they usually focus on two areas: Rhinelanders, who are stereotyped as loud and drunk partygoers, and people from Ruhr area, who are seen as rough working class people. In the Ruhr, the former industrial cities are crumbling and it is very depressing, poor and dirty. Westphalian people though are stereotyped as quiet, stubborn and very reserved, especially when you compare them to Rhinelanders. It is said that Westphalians go
Pretty much every state, the people here are known as reserved and not being nice and nothing. Did we have one so far where they are like open and friendly?
and
It's always
hide in
just
the basement if they
nah.
need to laugh. But that's because the basement is where the beer is stored, and the Frisians are the exact opposite of Rhinelanders. And of course, we have the city of Munster, which is full of students on bikes. It has an elitist and a snooty vibe and a fair amount of posh people compared to the rural areas around it, which are super religious. And about Bielefeld, it doesn't exist. Next, we have Düsseldorf.
Bielefeld, what?
The greatest thing about it is that it's so close to Cologne. It's filled with Asians and has great Asian food. Just don't ask them what they think about people from Cologne. Compared to Cologne, it's more of a business city and the traffic is horrible. And finally, people from Cologne live for Kolsch. I once heard a joke that goes, Kolsch is the first successful attempt to dilute water. It's a
Yeah, the people from Köln and their Kölsch.
nice city with lots of options for food, drinks, and partying. Also, beer is a religion there. Cologne also has a surprise.
It's not just a religion in Köln. You go to any part of the country, beer is
large amount of
ingrained into the
homosexual people.
DNA.
And what I personally love about Cologne is that it exists.
Wait, what? Rhineland Palatinate. Rheinland-Pfalz. Okay.
There's a state of wine. They're famous for their Chopin, and they're stereotyped as fat hicks who drink wine and Schorle and eat a lot of pork. So they're alcoholics, even by German standards. And it's the
Yay.
only state where you get your wine served in a 500 milligram glass. Unlike other Germans, they're super chatty and are happy people in general. Because they're influenced by French culture.
Hey, we have happy people in Germany. What? Let's hear
Unlike
it
other
again.
Germans, they're super chatty and are happy people in general. Because they're influenced by French culture, they're easygoing and laid back and think themselves as the enjoyers of life. They have a great rivalry with Saarland
USA and Europe. I'm just waiting for them. Oh, we have the Saarland next up. There we go.
and make fun of them all the time. The state is also home to the oldest German towns, which were founded by Romans. And ever since the Romans left, nothing interesting has ever happened there. Joking aside, it has beautiful forests and valleys, as well as hundreds of ruined castles. Food-wise, they have the
that sounds really
Salmagen, which is
cool.
the
Like, maybe it's because I'm a bit older now, but hearing that a town or a state doesn't have much exciting things going for themselves doesn't even sound that bad for me. It's like, peace and quietness is great. Like if you're living in a big city and it's always loud and this and that, I could not deal with that. I have relatives that live in bigger cities here in Germany, and while it works for them, it wouldn't work for me. Like I have a cousin, she lives in Berlin. I'm glad I don't have to do that.
German version of haggis. People from Mainz love to party. They're crazy for carnivals, just like Cologne, but with more wine. And the city of Trier is all about Roman history and Mosel wine. And Koblenz
Trier,
has
okay,
great fireworks.
Saarland. Here we go. The German Alabama. Here we go.
Saarland is a very small and rural state. It's actually the smallest non-city state. Saarland is approximately the size of one Saarland. The main stereotype about them is, well, I cannot say it here, but it's the same one that people from Alabama get associated with.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
rhymes with invest. These people are hardworking and down to earth. They're quite friendly and lovely once you get to know them. But their dialect is a bit hard to understand. And of course,
Fair.
anything that can be named something must carry the prefix Saar, like Saarbrücken, Saarlouis, Saarbrunn, etc. When it comes to food, they take it very seriously. It's like the first priority to them, and then they'll get the work done. They have some great wine and have the highest consumption per household of Maggi Wurzel in the country. They put it on everything: soups, potatoes, popcorn, ice cream, etc.
No. If you put Maggi Würze on popcorn and ice cream, you are... What even are you? Bruh.
There's a joke that goes, neither Germany nor France wanted it after World War II, and Germany lost.
Okay, Saxony.
The main stereotype about Saxony is that they speak the worst German with a funny dialect, have a big
Yeah.
ego, and are
Yeah.
always looking for fights. About their dialect, it is said that Saxon is the only language you can understand and talk while being blackout drunk. Every single person there is a stereotype as a right-wing, FDR voting, COVID denying, conspiracy theory loving extremist who for some reason always shaves his head and wears a bomber jacket with heavy boots. But most of the bad rap that the state gets is because of rural Saxony, and in some places the racism problem is so bad that if you don't look ethnically Western European or speak fluent German, you can definitely run into problems, especially finding accommodation, work, and just going about your daily life in general. If you want a US analogy, Saxony is basically Mississippi with the reputation of Florida. But as always, these are just the stereotypes, and the majority of Saxons are alright. People from Dresden are very conservative and
Wait, was that supposed to be a joke?
Saxons are alright.
They're all right. Wait, was that supposed
People
to be
from Dresden are very conservative
play on
and
words?
self-centered about their city. There's even a joke that goes, how does a Dresdener know you find his city beautiful? He tells you. Leipzig, though, is a very safe and left-leaning city, where people of color would not experience anything particularly bothersome or dangerous. It's like a small Berlin, and they're poor, but very progressive compared to the other parts of Saxony.
Sachsen-Anhalt.
I'd like to describe it as the void. There's nothing going on, and the state is very quiet and flat. And I believe if it disappeared overnight, nobody would notice. They think they're like a small Texas while driving their Dutch trucks, are very far right, and always reminisce about the good old DDR days. The older generations, though, truly resent their unification. If you drive through Saxony-Anhalt's industrial zones, or what you could call the East German Rust Belt, it feels like you're in a post-apocalyptic ghetto. Everyone there works 2 or 3 mini jobs at minimum wage just to afford a one-room flat in a GDR-era concrete high-rise.
That's fucking sad,
So everyone
bro.
is economically and psychologically depressed. This estate also has huge agricultural fields by German standards, which is a legacy of GDR. The city of Halle is cheap, near Leipzig, and they have a rivalry with Magdeburg.
Schleswig-Holstein. Is that... Okay, second to last.
They're stereotyped as cold, emotionally distant to strangers, grumpy, and unfriendly. But in my opinion, the reason for that is because they're very discreet and reserved. Once you get to know them, they're actually very nice, warm, and surprisingly chatty people. They're also very proud and have the beautiful North Sea, which makes them neighbors with Denmark. And they're just as weird as the Danes and basically behave like Scandinavians. I always imagine them wearing one of those yellow oilskin raincoats while eating fish and making fun of hamburgers for how they pronounce the letter letter S. The weather is rainy and windy all the time, and the people are obsessed with the sea. They're weather hardened and very proud of their coastal lifestyle. The state is also famous for its wind and solar energy, and is packed
Yeah.
with sheep and Danes. For entertainment, Schleswig-Holstein has the Wacken Open Air,
Oh,
which is
yeah,
one
right.
of the world's largest heavy metal festivals. Kiel is a sailing coastal town. The inner city is a bit ugly, but it's a pretty safe city unless you're from Labu. Lübeck is an old city, known for its marzipan. Considering it has 200,000
Oh, marzipan is
inhabitants,
nice.
it is shockingly provincial but very beautiful.
And now we have Thüringen, okay.
This estate is all about forests, bratwurst, and socialism. Thuringia is like the middle child. It's not left enough to be socialist and not too right to be liberal, but they love the AFD. Thuringia is
Yeah. Who knows?
just like Saxony, but everyone forgets about them and just hates on Saxony. Some people from Thuringia might not be as foreigner friendly as you think. So yeah, that's that. And about the nature, it's stunning and the beer scene is awesome. Now about the cities. In Vienna, everywhere you go, you see students, and you cannot order food after 11 p.m. And it can be a bit boring if you're not between 19 and 23 years old. Erfurt is a beautiful medieval city. It's not too big and
Again, maybe it's because I'm getting a bit older, but hearing that, the nightlife isn't great or there isn't much going on at night, that is not a downside for me. Like, if it's quiet, that is an absolute pro.
not too small, but it's very peaceful and relaxed.
Okay. That was quite a lot towards the end. Now, can we get the map for a second? There we can. Or never mind, wait. There we go. Let's see. To which states have I been before? Baden-Württemberg, Bavaria, Hessen, North Rhine-Westphalia, Lower Saxony, Schleswig-Holstein, Thuringia. I'm pretty sure I have driven through Thuringia on a trip somewhere. On this side, not that much. Because when we went on holidays, it was either in the north, towards like Denmark, or in the other direction, towards like France, or maybe sometimes even in the south, towards Italy or so. But I've been, I would say, in the majority of, oh yeah, Hamburg as well. I would say I've been to at least the majority of the states. Alright, that was a good video. I've already known a bunch of stuff, but some was also new at the same time. So, yeah, let's give that a subscription. Like I said in the beginning, link is down. If you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe and support him as well. I think they might have issues. I think it's in the room next to me that is a bit loud. I'm gonna check that real quick in a second. Alright, that's gonna be it for this video. I will see each other in the next one, whatever that will be. Yeah, have a good day, and till then, bye.